Okay, we've cleaned out our hide all the way, got some of the fat cleaned off of it on the fat wheel, and the last thing we're going to do before we wash this is clean out the tail region. Ducks, all birds have a tail. This duck has a tail that consists of a lot of feathers here. I guess I don't know how many without counting them, but you can see all those feathers fanned out, that is the duck tail. And all those feathers are anchored into a region of the duck. So that's muscle, a little bit of bone where the tailbone ends up, and two oil glands called pineal glands. So the area that all that's connected, I believe, is called the pygiostyle. And what we want to do as far as cleaning it up is we want to get rid of flesh. So we had severed the tailbone during skinning. So I'm going to take my scissors, and you can see two glands here, pineal glands. They look like little footballs, little lobes. And we're going to get rid of those in a second. But first we're going to take our scissor and just put it underneath this little bit of muscle and cut out the tip of the tailbone. A little bit of bone there and a little bit of muscle. Then we're going to take our scalpel and we're carefully going to skin down. We haven't really skinned down around the tail muscle. And so we're going to carefully skin down around this. Again, staying away from cutting on the flesh or the hide itself, and just kind of cutting around the tail region. If we cut too far, all the tail feathers will fall out. So we want to be careful, but we're cutting around the pineal glands, the oil glands, and the fleshy part. And then as far as cleaning this up, we're going to carefully remove any muscle that we can. And there's something very important here as far as cutting. Right now, if I would cut across like this, I would cut all the tail feathers and they would all fall out and you would have no tail feathers on your mount. So you do not cut this direction. You don't hold the tail and cut perpendicular to it, cutting across the tail feathers. So we don't do that at all. If we're going to, right here are our feathers anchored in a little V formation. We do want to get rid of these glands because these oil glands are full of oil. So what we're going to do is carefully reach in with our scissor and just gently cut those glands right out of there. And you're not cutting through anything difficult, feathers or anything like that. Cut those glands out of there. And then we can take our scalpel and just carefully slide it between the feather butts of the tail feathers, just carefully separating those just a little bit. And don't cut hard at all, just be very gentle. If it doesn't slide between, don't force it between there. But once we've done that, and you can see all the feather butts of the tail feathers, everything's cleaned off plenty well. There's a little bit of flesh back here on the back part of this. You have to be careful around the vent that you don't cut through the hide, but we want to take a little bit of that off, a little bit of the muscle that surrounds it. But that tail is plenty clean now. When we wash it, that'll clean up and then we'll dry it out.
Oh.